Buckeye Talk after Ohio State's 39.
39 to 51. Go ahead.
Buckeye Talk after Ohio State's 59-31 victory over Purdue. We are grading Buckeyes quarterback C.J. Stroud. I'm Nathan Baird from cleveland.com along with Doug Lesmerises and Stephen Means. Stroud 31 of 38 for 361 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. I don't know what you'd give him other than an A today. These guys may have their own
And see you later.
may have their own curve that they're grading on, but Ryan Day talked about in the postgame about how he thought that C.J. Stroud prepared for this game better than he had prepared for any game all year. Ohio State gave him a clean pocket pretty much all day. Stroud said he thought he was touched once today, and I thought it was just surgical. I mean, he had all the time in the world that he wanted. He was clean all day, and it looked pretty easy out there for him. And he made it look easy at times with his passing. So I think it's a pretty clear A performance. Steven, how do you grade C.J. Stroud?
Yeah, A+ from me as well. I thought this was the most comfortable he looked in the pocket, and that's a shout out to the offensive line who did keep him clean. Him having his 3 weapons out there, the intermediate weapon that Garrett Wilson is, who can just do everything he wants with the ball. Obviously, the short game passing with Jackson Smith-Njigba, and then they went over the top to Chris Olave every so often, even the one that got called back because Jeremy Rucker got a hold. All the pieces of the offense were moving again in a way that we haven't seen in a couple of weeks, and that starts with him.
Doug, you going to try to bring down this GPA?
What is there left to say? I mean, except that he should have another 50 yards on top of it on the Olave deep ball that got pulled back, which was Ryan Day's fault. He took credit. They made Jeremy Rucker try to block George Karlaftis by himself, and it resulted in a holding penalty. I do think this is in great credit to Nicholas Petit-Frere and DeJuan Jones, because we talked a lot about going into this game that we thought George Karlaftis had a potential to be a problem for them. He was an absolute non-factor. You never would have guessed that Ohio State was facing a first-round defensive end today. And then once that happened, I don't think C.J. Stroud made a mistake. I can't think of something he did wrong. Sometimes you even have good stats, but yeah, you threw a ball that could have been picked. You got lucky. He bounced a couple, right? He didn't complete 100% of his passes, but man, that is a calm, poised, do everything effort made possible by an offensive line that did its job all day. So an A for me.
I'm going to look back afterwards and see if we all look to see if that Gator was going to take out our stand right there. I'm remembering one pass to Jackson Smith-Njigba where he threw it a little bit low. If he had left it a little bit higher, he would have had enough time to get it. So there, one thing that went wrong.
Let me say, let's offset it though, because we have to make sure it's an A+. Chris Olave dropped a touchdown pass, so he gave up one bad throw. The receivers dropped one of his good throws. So there he is. There's the even.
Yeah, and George Karlaftis was like shaking his head about that holding penalty afterwards, but really what he did was potentially save his quarterback, because do you want him not to take the holding penalty against George Karlaftis? I think Ohio State's probably fine with that, especially in a 59-38 game. Listen to Buckeye Talk. We're going to get out of here and go someplace warm and record this as soon as this game is over, the big recap of this 59-38 Ohio State victory.